That's Bakatapori and a GTV breakfast on Yuli Maltiti Sider Sadek. Good morning. I am Maltiti Sider Sadek. Welcome to the monthly edition of GTV Breakfast News at 6 a.m. We'll start off in our very first story with President Akufo-Addo says the economic growth rate recorded under his watch, even during the COVID-19 pandemic of 5.6%, was far better than what was inherited from the Mahama administration, which was at 3.4% in 2016. Addressing the National Labour Conference at Kwehun-Kwetia in the Eastern Region, President Akufo-Addo said his government has taken proactive steps not only to put the economy on a trajectory of growth, but also create jobs via the Obatam Packers program with 100 billion cedis.
Prior to the outbreak of the pandemic in 2020, Ghana witnessed an average annual GDP growth rate of 7% in 2017, 2018, and 2019. This stellar performance placed Ghana among the fastest growing economies in the world. But things went downhill in 2020 when COVID-19 struck, with GDP growth taking a sharp nosedive of 0.4% in 2020, when our economy was then generally acknowledged as one of the fastest growing in the world. The headwinds from the pandemic have left in its trail fiscal deficit of over 78% and labor agitation due to revenue shortfall. At the National Labour Conference at Kwehun-Kwetia in the Eastern Region, President Akufo-Addo said the economy recorded a stellar performance in 2017 until COVID derailed all again.
Ghana's tax to GDP ratio of 12.2% compares unfavorably with our peers the world over. The average tax to GDP ratio in West Africa stands at 18%. And indeed, the recommended ratio for ECOWAS member states is a minimum of 20%. The average for OECD countries is 34%. It is thus no wonder that American, German, French, Japanese, and British peoples, amongst others, can readily find the means to fund their own development, particularly their infrastructural development, whereas we are constantly struggling to do the same.
The President assured that the government will return to the fiscal deficit target threshold as enshrined in the Fiscal Responsibility Act 982 from 2022. Ghana's economy in the medium term is projected to grow at 5.6% in 2022.
Still at the presidency, President Nana Akufo-Addo says government is implementing policy to cut down budgetary allocation to ministries, departments and other government agencies by 20% this year in a bid to ensure fiscal consolidation. The president disclosed this when he addressed the main edition of the National Labour Conference at Kwehun-Kwetia in the Eastern Region.
We have to make concerted efforts as partners to hasten our recovery from COVID-19 by finding intelligent ways of bringing everyone on board to contribute their quota, no matter how small. Government, on its part, is implementing a policy of cutting the budgets of ministries, departments, and agencies by 20% this year as its contribution to measures to ensure fiscal consolidation. Ghana's tax to GDP ratio of 12.2% compares unfavorably with our peers the world over. The average tax to GDP ratio in West Africa stands at 18%. And indeed, the recommended ratio for ECOWAS member states is a minimum of 20%. The average for OECD countries is 34%. It is thus no wonder that American, German, French, Japanese, and British peoples, amongst others, can readily find the means to fund their own development, particularly their infrastructural development, whereas we are constantly struggling to do the same.
And the chairman of the Council of States, Nana Otuo-Serebour, has admonished the majority and minority caucuses in Parliament to reconcile their differences and build consensus. He said the country stands to lose a lot if both sides are adamant obstructing the work of Parliament. Nana Otuo-Serebour chaired the steering committee of the Council when they met the leadership of the majority caucus yesterday. A report by Sarah Ufuri.
Until recently, Ghana's parliament was regarded as a bastion of democracy on the continent because it had an enviable record from the 1st to the 7th parliament. The meeting by the Council of States comes on the heels of a similar interaction with the minority caucus of parliament. The purpose of the meeting is to obtain their candid opinion on the unexpected developments in Parliament, which has generated tense atmosphere.
Since the inauguration of the 8th Parliament, we have been fed with not very palatable news from Parliament. There have been a lot of acrimony, there have been a lot of confusion, and sometimes even resulting to physical fight or fisticuffs. And this do not reflect well on a parliament of the nature of our Ghana parliament. This is the 8th since the 4th Republic, and all the 7 parliaments have performed with a lot of credit, and it is not proper that we should see that this enviable record which we have had would go down the drain. Parliament is an awesome institution, but unfortunately, it is becoming awful. And we have to arrest that situation because the country stands to lose a lot if parliamentary work is impaired.
Quoting the words of the majority leader, Parliament is being torn into shreds.
We all have come to the realization that we can overcome this turbulence if we are sincere with ourselves and don't reduce what is happening and what is going to happen subsequently to a mere talk shop. Parliament, which is a bastion of democracy, is being torn into shreds by our own actions and inactions. And I believe that at the end of the day, the reconciliation that we want to build will be achieved. It must be achieved.
Mr. Chairman Sabunsu, however, assured the Council that they are willing to listen to the Council of the Council. The Council continues its mediatory efforts by meeting with the Deputy Speakers and the Speaker of Parliament, Mr. Alban Bagbin. Sarah Ufuri, GBC News, Accra.
To education, where the West African Examinations Council WAEC has released provisional results of candidates for the 2021 edition of the Basic Education Certificate Examination (BEC). The council says it will dispatch the results to the schools through the Metropolitan, Municipal and District Directors of Education.
The council has posted the results online, and candidates who desire may access their results online at the council's website www.waecgh.org. A statement signed by its head of legal department, Reverend Victor Brew, indicated that a total of 572,167 candidates made up of 287,730 males and 284,437 females entered for the examination. Among the registered candidates, 61 had visual impairment and 321 were identified with hearing impairment. The statement further adds that the total entry figure was 7.61% higher than the 2020 entry of 531,707. In all, 18,028 schools presented candidates for the examination, which was administered at 2,158 centers. With regards to examination malpractice, WAEC says the subject results of 138 candidates and entire results of 46 candidates have been cancelled. WAEC is also withholding the subject results of 148 candidates and the entire results of 109 candidates pending conclusion of investigations into various cases of alleged examination malpractice. Meanwhile, the council is cautioning all stakeholders to be wary of fraudsters who promise to upgrade results for a fee, adding that WAEC results are secured and can be authenticated.
Now, academic work at the Tamale campus of the University for Development Studies, UDS, has started in earnest following the suspension of the 6-week-old industrial action embarked on by the University Teachers Association of Ghana, UTAG. A visit to the campus saw some lecturers going on with students in their lecture halls expressing excitement about the developments. Correspondent Mutala Isa has more from Tamale.
Schools here at the Tamale campus have already started lectures. We were in the lecture hall a while ago to see the School of Medicine already taking some of their students to some lectures. As you can see, campus is busier. There's a hustle and bustle going on, students from all over the place, as you can see, walking up and down, and they have been telling us that they are happy to be back to school and appealing to government to this is permanent. Let's take a listen to some of these students.
I'm so happy because we had an exam to write, and then because of the strike we couldn't write it. So right now we know that we'll finish what we started last year and then move on to something new. The government should listen to their demands and please, and then give them what they want.
Happy about they've suspended the strike. I'm happy we can continue classes, and then we have an exam to write on Friday, so we can write it and we'll be free. Our minds will be okay. Being at home is something else. We are not able to learn at home. Even though we learn, but it's not that effective and that stuff. So being in school is much better.
When we went home, we couldn't learn, and we are back. And fourth is just on Friday. We don't know actually if we will be able to write the exams or not. So when you are learning, you don't feel comfortable because anytime at all the strike can be called on again. So actually, we are not okay. Even though we are just pretending to be okay, we are not really okay.
We have also spoken to the Vice President of UTAG UDS Tamale Campus, Professor Mogri, and this is what he had to say.
We run a transfer system. And when you look at it, we are still having 12 weeks. And our previous timetable, it was a similar 12 weeks. Because of COVID, the academic calendar has actually been turned upside down. And we are trying to see how we'll be able to move back to the September reopening and things like that. So the previous calendar already had the number of weeks actually reduced to 12 weeks. And it is still maintaining the same. It is still the same 12 weeks that we have.
Across campus, expectations are very high. We are told that a new academic calendar is out already. And so the expectations among students is very, very high. They are preparing themselves. Other departments, including the Department of Education, the Faculty of Education, are preparing to start lectures anytime from now. However, this has not prevented some lecturers on campus to whisper into our ears that if government does not listen to them, they may likely go for another strike. Mutala Isa for GBC News.
A solemn ceremony on Monday morning was held at the Christian Bell Crossroads at Osu in Accra to remember the 3 fallen ex-servicemen, Sergeant Cornelius Francis Ejete, Corporal Patrick Etipoi, and Private Odate Lamte. 74 years ago, their gunning down sparked across the country, culminating into Ghana's independence.
74 years ago, on Saturday, 28 February 1948, Ghana was rocked by riots following the killing of 3 Ghanaian World War II veterans, Sergeant Ajete, Corporal Atipo, and Private Odate Lamte. They were shot by British colonial police during a protest march in Accra.
The three were among the war veterans who were marching peacefully to present a petition to the British governor. They wanted the compensation and gratuity promised them for their war service in World War II to be redeemed. The shooting incident became a milestone in Ghana's struggle for independence as it sparked several riots in Accra and across the country. At a solemn memorial at the Nationalism Park at Christiansburg Crossroads at Usu in Accra, the three fallen soldiers were remembered.
GC 37209, Private Odate Lamte. GC 37609, Private Odate Lamte. It has pleased the Almighty God to take the souls of our beloved comrades, Sergeant C.F. Ajete, Corporal Tipo, and Private Odate Lamte out of our midst to heaven above. May the souls of all our departed veterans rest in perfect peace. Amen.
Then was the sounding of the last post. And to the reveille. The Vice President, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, laid the first wreath on behalf of the people of Ghana. Next, the Chief of Defence Staff laid one for the security services, and the National Chair of the Veterans Association of Ghana laid a wreath on behalf of the veterans. The Gbese Manche laid one on behalf of traditional...
For allegedly taking videos of court proceedings, a freelance journalist, Mr. Sakut Amenga Etego, was picked up by operatives of the National Security at the Law Court Complex on Thursday, February 24, 2022. He was arrested on orders of the Accra High Court after he allegedly took videos of court proceedings of the trial of some 5 Indian nationals alleged to have been involved in illegal gold trade.
On Thursday, February 24, 2022, states that the presiding judge, Justice Lydia Osei-Mafo, became aware of the issue after some disturbances outside of the courtroom. The judge is said to have ordered operatives of the national security who came to the courtroom with the accused persons to detain Mr. Amengo Etego. He was then ordered to provide the national security operatives access to his phone by providing the password to the phone. Justice Osei-Mafo also ordered the suspects to be kept in the custody of the national security operatives pending the investigations till the next adjourned date. Mr. Sakut Amengo Etego is to reappear on March 14 alongside the accused Indian nationals in a substantive case. Meanwhile, a statement by the Ministry of National Security is urging the public to disregard a media publication that Mr. Amengo Etego was arrested to keep him quiet. It had been reported that Mr. Amengo Etego was arrested because he was following up on an alleged extortion case against some national security operatives. But according to the Ministry of National Security, the publication was false and should be disregarded.
On the international front, Russia and Ukraine representatives have concluded talks held in Belarus aimed at brokering peace amid the ongoing conflict. Both sides will return to their capital cities for consultation ahead of a second round of talks, which could take place in the coming days. Now, expectations for a peaceful resolution had not been high before Monday's meeting. Ukraine said it wanted a ceasefire and Russia while the Kremlin said it would not announce its position. Russia's negotiators have talked of striking a deal that's in the interests of both sides. And that's it for the news at 6 a.m. on Breakfast. I am Maltiti Saida Sadek. Up next is the weather.
Ago. Amachichio Glona Berna. Achideka. Mwana Avel. Our ancestors, the people who came onto this earth long before us, said one tree does not make a forest. And so one powerful individual cannot work on their own. You need institutions. Welcome to our Heritage Month right here on GTV. Here. And if you're wondering why I'm dressed like this, well, I'm representing the Volta region of this beautiful country, Ghana. Let me teach you a few phrases in Ewe. Okay, so what I'm wearing is a crown, and in Ewe you'd call it a fiakuku, which is literally the king's hat, fiakuku, or the chief's hat. And I've put on cloth, medavodabo. I've put the cloth on my arm, which is literally what it means, but I'm wearing cloth, medavodabo. And I wish you could see what's around my wrists and around my neck. It's beads, jonu. I'll be testing you. So jonu for beads, fiakuku for crown, and medavodabo. I've worn my cloth this morning. It's a beautiful one. Indinami, good morning to you. And throughout this month of March, the brand new Heritage Month will be exploring our culture, our tradition, our music, our language, our people, those who have for us. We'll be exploring our riches, our diversity, and we'll be looking at our heroes, people who are raising the flag of Ghana and making us proud. So you're welcome, Miawezo, to GTV Breakfast, hashtag GTV Breakfast. Their WhatsApp number, our WhatsApp number, 055561035. Let me give you my own number. 055561034. Wizo, welcome. And I'm not here alone because representing Greater Accra. There she is. What find it? Ojeko.
Nyejeko Gama B, Gafomo B, Mimba Nyefe Nye de Umanye, me. Nyebi na tachua ninje kolegono. Just a minute shia mi pepe jihe ninje. Acho mi taki ini beji womanche taki taria. Taki taria leji beloved king of the Ga state. We are the Ga people and we are in Greater Accra region. The only region in Ghana that is greater. They don't understand. They will never understand. Good morning and thanks for joining us. This month I'll be representing the Greater Accra region. We know that we have the Ga people and we also have the Ga Dangbe people. So we'll be trying to switch it up a little bit. You're seeing me dressed as a proper Ga Odehe. Kake Ga Odehe, benchwake royalty. So you see me with my head scarf, you see me in my white, and you see me in my herbs. So white to signify purity. We believe that we should be pure as a people, so we wear white. This herb is called hyssop. This is for protection. It is for cleansing. King David referred to this herb in Psalm 51 verse 7 when he was pleading with God for forgiveness. He said, cleanse me with hyssop. This is what the hyssop means. So if you don't have blood for any of these cleansing rituals, you can equally put this in water and use it to wash yourself. If you hang it in your room, it repels evil spirits. So evil cannot come around you if you have hyssop. Okay, so when you see the guys with this around their necks, they are not wearing rubbish. They are not wearing grass. This is our protection. It's a symbol of our identity. And you are seeing me with the marks on my body. It's to identify me as where I come from. Okay? So everybody makes different markings which mean different things to them. And that's what the markings mean. Very soon I'll be getting some on my forehead as well. And you see that I'm also barefoot. Guys believe in Asasiya, Mother Earth. We connect with our Mother Earth by putting our bare feet on the floor. So when the Ga man does this, you know that this land belongs to us. I'll be telling you more about the Ga people and the unique cultures that emanate only from the Greater region. My name is Thelma Taki. Thank you for joining us. And I'm passing it on to the next guy.
Hello, good morning and welcome to hashtag GTV Breakfast. Me gina ha me magana me nyinara ache. Wode hia nko a empani se akoadwane yanu nti se me gina manimu a wode hia ankasa ene miara me gina ha wopem so wote kokoso na mu me gina ha asante manyina anamu yanu nti busu me nyina ye si ho se meyi yankasa yabakosem yadehesem enafi ye nipa ban a ye yo etu hu anamo na yabo hu dawu amman ewiase afa na nyina TV no yanu mu ena megina ha enu nti sene amaka kosie no so de hia nko akoadwane na chese wonsom so mene wa na eso mu enti fa betire beso media so anase memfa tuma mu nye mpagya na hwese ye himpo enya de o meyi ebeko akosie anopensa de achen me ma de achen bia onyame wanka ho.
Thank you, Akpe Nami, and we're going to hand it over to the beautiful representative from Northern Region.
That's about Mpuriana Zungo and Zala. 5 Northern Regions Mazazan, Etiel Dagbamba, Nanumba, Mamperse, Zabase, Mohai, Sokam Zazan, Kanze, Waka represented Dagbon, a proud daughter of the Lion Kingdom. The Lion Kingdom, Yana, Bonle Mama. So Heritage Month was a money represented Dagbon Bensha Kamza. Kale to at a bender go to Wahanin Yesham, Dabaman of Borwashan at Dam de Tishama, Twaran Yesham Takai, and Chamaka Kafui Mamma, Wo Bamaya, Wamazane, the Parguma, Mini your nation, the Parguma, but this is what we weave in the north. This is our proud apparel that we wear. 5 Northern Regions, Maza, and all the tribes over 16 plus tribes to Zaten Yar Nation and Bon. So, we represented La Dagbon, Nanumba, Mamperse, Tin Yarben Shatin, Derben Shao, Namdashan Perma, the Bang Shale, Ton Kore, Bon Quabri Shalma, the Bang Maden. Ka tezang mal namdama so te believe me te partela ben yara de wuma kama te kalma mal nyasum te kalma temsa so la namdanam kayem paten manche accessories ngoma za nyala ben yara shanga te kaleta barta ben shata mamam te mamam sulun se be te mamam yonse so la ne makayen yara kayel ya ben shakam za den chika dagbang za de na bayizo Tida boy dagbang, tida boy yana, only empire, so comes out Zorlame. So Tin Yaliam, a big shot comes out in charge, so comes out within the length and breadth of Africa, Kabazorla, because the Dagbon Kingdom is one of the biggest empires that you can think about, the kind of cultural heritage, and it has a lot to offer. And so this is how I'll be representing on hashtag GTV Breakfast.
Mpaya, thank you. Akpe.
Oh, you walado.
Thank you. Alan, how would you say it? Thanks to all of you. Welcome to hashtag GTV Breakfast. We are going for health check coming up right after this. Nyarizo, welcome.
Live from GBC Studio 1, this is the Breakfast Show.
And they call me Eugene. Shoulder to cry, run on my pamper, so we try to suicide. Yeah, let bygone be bygone. I didn't see what the bottom gonna do, we go straight to start. And I'll take you to next level. Oh, my baby, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. The energy next level. But baby, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I'll take you to next level. My baby, oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
I don't quote next level.
Excessive drinking can be detrimental to health. Not recommended for persons under 18 years, lactating mothers, pregnant women, and people sensitive to caffeine. This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
Oh, today he has been extra sweet, and the way he looks at me.
I have done everything by the book. It's on. Hey, but I have to get some condoms, Charlie.
Using a condom will protect you and your partner from HIV, STIs, and unplanned pregnancy. Condoms are an effective way for protection against HIV infection. Don't take risks. Use a condom every time. Always come prepared.
This advert is brought to you by the Ghana AIDS Commission and Ghana Health Service.
The groom is sick.
What?
Malaria.
Malaria. Lufat.
Injija woman malaria enka won to them. Lufat, a malaria drop a.
And now you may kiss the bride.
Entrance Pharmaceuticals and Research Center. And I Lufat. Lufat, a two malaria sententem. FDA, Ashasa, a Jedi in Kratoi Ajatus.
From 1921 to 2021, the journey to our centenary has been amazingly worthy. Azar Group is 100 years and continues to achieve greatness.
Main brands which were in the company are Azar Tex, which is an emulsion paint, texture paints, which we were the first people to produce it in Ghana, and Azar Gloss, which is oil paint. We were the first people to produce the carpenter's glue. Now we have new products like silicone paint.
Join Azar Group celebrate 100 years and to create another brilliant 100 years together.
Hey, tell me what? Hey, tell me what? Tell me, beer.
They ma worry me. Watch me, you come 1 week, Mr. WBT. Oh, now who
yes. Boga, now then. Senior, name me a new man. Cut down, my business is a collapse. I'm out of balance.
So who take quick credit in Ghana?
Quick credit?
Yes, quick credit.
Who pesika? Eddie, I true with you. We are government and a private worker. Who pesika they are till hot so. We are Busumi Juma. Who yes, Sikadia Bibin Tempe so. Quick credit, we more loan and what you are in Kakra. Now, a latest some Cassian say. A collateral free loaner, Susu, savings, account opening, and a deposit as MBL. You hear me say, what Ghana card? 2022 year, 1 year Juma, now one hour young. Who need excuse here? For quick credit to 03022 00390 and 05969 20833. But see that quick credit.
Coming live from the capital, this is the Breakfast Show.
Njinami Miarizon, welcome to the show. This is hashtag GTV Breakfast, day 1 of Ghana month, right here on GTV. Still to come, we've got sports news at 7 a.m. at 7:15. BC results are out. What do they mean for you and for me? Conversation in the third hour of today's show. But for now, we're going to do health check. We're looking at newborn care. You stay with us right after this.
The show was a jar of bar and a dim.
The groom is sick.
What?
Malaria.
Malaria. Lufat.
Injija woman malaria enka won to them. Lufat, a malaria drop a.
And now you may kiss the bride.
Entrance Pharmaceuticals and Research Center. And I Lufat. Lufat, a two malaria sententem. FDA ahwehwe sa ekedie nkratoyi ajatum.
Good to have you here today. We're looking at newborn care, you know, those beautiful, soft, sweet-smelling bundles of joy that enter the world, and we have to know how to take care of them in a very special way to nurture life. My guest is a pediatrician. She is CEO of JH Health Connect and the Vice President of the Pediatric Society of Ghana, Dr. Hilda Mantevia Boy. Good morning. Good to have you here.
Good morning, Kafui.
Yes, and happy Ghana month to you.
Thank you.
I see you got the memo. I can see you.
Yeah, hey, your producer wouldn't let me be.
They are wild. It's international. She's wild. Let's talk today about, it's a new month, so we're going to talk about newborns today, because a new month has just been born. And we thought it would be nice to talk about the birth of, baby coming into the world, and what kind of specialized care is required to maintain life and keep them nice and healthy for a little one that is totally dependent on mom and parents. Let's start from the beginning. So this is a being that cannot talk. The only communication is just crying. How do you identify what they need, and how do you take care of them?
The art of nurturing or caring for a baby is something that's learned, and it cannot be taken for granted. Like you have said, they will not talk, they will just cry, and you will need to know what probably they are looking for whenever they are crying. And babies will cry for many different reasons. Over time, mothers or parents or caregivers learn what exactly each cry signifies, but generally a baby will cry if the baby's temperature is not good for the baby. So if the baby is too hot, baby will cry. If baby is too cold, baby will cry. Another big area is the wetness in the diaper area. So if baby is wet, baby will cry. So whether poop or wee at a point, baby will cry. If baby is hungry, baby will cry. So baby may cry to signify that I'm hungry and I need another feed. If baby is unwell or sometimes even the tummy, they may cry. If they are uncomfortable or they feel bloated, they will cry.
So it's general discomfort, and it could be from temperature, it could be from just wetness in the diaper area, it could be from just hunger or thirst.
Yes.
Babies feel thirsty. Do they feel thirsty?
Yes, they do feel thirsty.
But the food is just liquid now, so...
So yes, babies do, like, they'll feel hungry, they'll feel thirsty. It's all part of it, but because for their meal, they have it all at the same time or all together, and then it's not like you're going to give water or something. So you just give them the breast milk that they need.
Okay, let's look at the various things that you've talked about. Let's look at, maybe diaper changing.
Yeah.
So baby's crying, and then mommy has to be almost like a detective.
Yes, you have to be a detective. Let's add daddies too. You know, often a lot of the burden is left on the mothers, but it need not be so. Fathers are also an important component of childcare or parenting the baby, so they also need to be aware. Now, mother could pick baby up and check the diaper area to see if there's wetness, and changing that alone may cause baby to become much more comfortable.
So it's just totally always being alert to make sure that the baby is okay.
Yes, always being alert. There are even times when, for instance, you've just fed baby, and about 15-30 minutes later, baby is crying. Baby is probably not likely to be hungry at that point. It's probably because baby now feels bloated, or there's some air that needs to come out. So you pick baby up and you burp baby, and you may hear that like sound of the burp, and you see baby is fine now.
Okay.
So all those little things, but even when they want to poop, they feel very uncomfortable because they are not used to pooping, and so you may see them kicking their legs, lifting it up here and there, and just being uncomfortable. You may see a bit of a cry, but comes out and baby is comfortable.
Just talking about burping, what's the correct way to burp a baby?
Okay, there's the
next time you should bring
common
a dummy here, so we do practice.
I should, or a doll or something.
A doll, yeah.
So you have the baby in your arm, you put on your chest, and then you put on there a bit, and you just burp the back. You tap the back. the burp will come out or the air will come out. That's one way. Another way is putting baby on the lap. So baby on the lap with the tummy down on your lap, and the same part, the burp will come.
Okay.
Yes.
You hear the sound.
You hear the sound of the air coming out of the mouth, and then you know that baby has burped and the air is out or the gas is out. And at that age, it's very difficult for them to handle gas. That's why we say that when you are breastfeeding, you need to be cautious so that baby does not take in a lot of air, any air at all. So as you are breastfeeding, you have to check the positioning, the attachment to the breast, and make sure that you're not hearing mwah, 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 mwah as baby is breastfeeding.
Mothers probably think the baby is enjoying it, but when you hear mwah, 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 it's not enjoyment.
You hear like swallows,
okay,
which are not that noisy, but when you hear the mwah, mwah, no, that one, we don't want that.
It's not enjoyment.
It's not enjoyment.
Air is actually coming in.
A lot of air, which will cause baby to become uncomfortable, and you also eventually uncomfortable.
So the lips of the baby must cover the nipple completely, correct?
Yes, so it will cover the nipple completely and part of the areola.
Okay.
So the areola should be, the areola is the dark area around the nipple.
Where you have some little dots or whatever.
Yes.
Raised.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you have the nipple, then you have the area around the nipple, which is the areola, and then you have the breast, which has like normal looking skin.
Okay.
So that area, the areola, has to also be the mouth of the baby.
Okay.
Depending on the size of the areola for whichever mother, it may not have to be all of it entering.
Okay.
But part of the areola definitely has to be in the mouth, not just the nipple.
Okay.
For the breastfeeding process, it's important to have part of the areola in the mouth. Otherwise, baby will just be sucking the nipple. Baby will not be getting the breast milk that they want and cause the mother to have nipple sores and become uncomfortable. So baby will not be breastfeeding well. Mother will also become unhappy because of pain and discomfort from the nipple sores.
Yeah, good tips. I can see the baby there in the picture just went by. He was doing the right thing, you know. So if your baby is doing it's not that he's enjoying or she's enjoying the breast milk. It's probably getting too much air. So thanks for that tip. Let's talk about bathing.
Yeah.
How often should you be bathing these little ones?
It's always like tricky. There are some who will do twice a day, but daily should be okay for a baby who is not working, who is not actively doing any exercise to sweat. So daily should be okay.
Once a day?
Once a day should be okay. It doesn't have to be twice a day.
Okay. No. Some others go overboard and it's like every 4 hours they're bathing the baby.
For every 4 hours, no, but it's too much. It's too much. Baby doesn't need all that. And you see, whenever you send baby to go and bath, you expose baby, risk of the baby getting cold. There's something we call hypothermia. The temperature going low is there. So just once a day should be fine for baby.
Okay. Temperature of the water?
That it should be lukewarm.
How do you test that?
So unfortunately, I cannot tell you that put a thermometer inside and then when it's this temperature. But when you are testing the water that you are using for bathing, you can put it on the back of your hand and it shouldn't be hot. It shouldn't be cold, but it shouldn't be hot too. So just like lukewarm, it's okay. It doesn't need to be hot. No. And there's always the risk of burns. We've had bad stories of mothers, probably they were going to bath baby with water, and before they knew it, they had used the water that wasn't well mixed, the hot water that wasn't well mixed in the pail to burns.
You can easily make that mistake.
You can easily make that
mistake. Because remember in the old days, they used to have like 2 pails of water. You had the hot water and the cold water, and then you were supposed to mix it.
Yes.
And you could easily make a mistake.
Yes, but you should mix the water before you even send baby in there and make sure that the temperature is right. Okay. Again, babies should not be left unattended. So in the bathroom or wherever you are doing the bathing, don't leave the baby for another toddler or another child. Make sure that there's good supervision. There's a rule of thumb that we use. Don't turn your back on a baby.
Don't turn your
back on a baby. All the time when you have a baby, make sure that your eyes are on the baby or you are able to observe or watch the baby. You shouldn't leave the baby unattended at any point, especially if they are not in a secure, maybe in their cot where you have barriers on the side where you know that they cannot fall off or they cannot get hurt. Okay. Again, whilst I've mentioned the baby's cot, the foam that the baby lies on or the mattress that the baby lies on should be firm. And when you are you shouldn't put a lot of toys and things inside the cot, a lot of pillows or things inside the cot because of the risk of suffocation. Yes, so all these are things that people who have babies in the home need to know.
And it's a serious risk of
it's a serious
risk.
Yes, so there's something we call sudden infant death syndrome, and this will happen especially if babies are turned on their tummy. Their nose can compress on the mattress, soft mattress. They cannot breathe, and before you know it, they are gone.
And of course, they don't have neck control, so they can't turn their heads.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
What's the best way? That they're talking about sleeping. What's the best way to put the baby down to sleep?
On the back is preferred. Back. So you lie baby on the back. Just bet baby well, and you can lie baby on the back to sleep.
Okay. You're watching GTV Breakfast, and one tip I just got from Dr. Boy is keep your eye on the baby. I'll say it in another. Hold your eye, literally. Make sure that you keep your eye on the baby because you don't want to turn your back to the baby. Messages coming up pretty soon on 055 556 1034. This is the Ghana Month edition, first one. And since it's a new month, we're talking about new babies. You know, a new month has just been born. We want to take care of it nicely so that it will survive and bring us more months, okay? Let's talk about care of the umbilical cord. What should mommy be looking out for in that area? And the belly button area, yeah.
Okay, when baby is born, the cord being wet is a potential like infection because germs can go there and make baby sick. We have the gel that mothers are given in hospital, which is supposed to be used to clean the cord, and this is what we recommend mothers to use to clean the cord, and also in the hospital that's what we use to clean the cord.
Please say that again.
The chlorhexidine gel is a gel that is used to clean the cord. Formerly it was spirit, and now the recommendation is the chlorhexidine gel.
Why did they change from spirit?
So the chlorhexidine, like they did a number of studies and realized that the risk of infection was lower when the chlorhexidine was used. So then eventually we just switched to the chlorhexidine gel. Now another thing, there are some mothers or caregivers who will use all sorts of things to clean the cord, like spices.
What?
Yes,
spices,
maybe soap in some cases, just in some cases even cow dung. So different things to clean the cord.
Wow.
Yeah, and that will cause baby to become sick. So we have something that you will use to clean the cord, and that is the chlorhexidine gel, which we will recommend that mothers will use to prevent babies from getting cord infection.
Is it expensive?
It's not expensive.
How much is the bottle?
Do I remember the price? But it's not expensive. I believe less than 5 cedis. It's not anything expensive.
For how long do you have to be cleaning that navel area after baby is born?
For about a week.
Oh, just a week?
Just about a week.
Okay.
Just about a week. But in special situations, if you have an infection there, it may be longer, but for just about a week.
Okay.
And you do it, when you are cleaning the cord, you clean the stump of the cord. You know the cord is like a string. So when you cut it, you clean the area that has been cut together with part of the base or where the cord is coming from, cover a bit of the skin as well. What you don't want to see a discharge coming from the cord, like there's some fluid coming from the cord which may be smelly, or some reddening around the cord. We don't want to see that. So mothers, fathers, you look out for that on your babies.
So after a week, it should be done.
After a week, you should be done. If you have any problems with the cord after that, just come back to us in hospital and we will assist you. There are a few that it may take a longer time for the cord to separate or fall off, the stump to fall off. For all those ones, we are in the hospital for you. You can come and we will assist you to help your baby.
Okay, now let's talk about schedules, because regularly we normally we work on in the day and then at night we sleep. But the baby comes into the house and then it's everything is upside down. In the night, that's when they want to be singing and or screaming their heads off, and in the day they are quiet when you are more alert to take care of them. What's going on with the time difference for babies?
That's how they are. I don't know whether you've heard them being called night owls at times. Like they are awake at night, and it's because they don't have, there's a hormone called melatonin, and that helps with the circadian rhythm and the sleep and all, but they don't have enough of it. As they grow, they get more and more of it, and so the sleep pattern becomes a bit more regular. New parents, mothers, you should be aware, fathers, you should be aware that babies, especially in the newborn period, don't sleep into the early infancy. They don't sleep too much at night, and you should be prepared for it, and try to also adjust your schedule according to their schedule so that the amount of stress on you is less. If you are a mother and you are working throughout the day when baby is sleeping, in the night when baby wakes, you don't have the energy to take care of baby. So when baby sleeps, you also try and catch a bit of rest during that time. But on their schedules, often from the day they are born, they may be sleeping about 18 hours a day for the first few days into a week plus, and then it changes. It will come down. That's a lot of sleep. That's a lot, but they'll wake up. Yes, they'll wake up. You see, they'll sleep, wake up to feed, go back to sleep, wake up, feed. That's the cycle. Diaper change, all that. So they eat and sleep. That is like babies, they eat and sleep. Just know that they'll eat and sleep, and from about 2-3 months it becomes better for some of them.
Melatonin is increasing in the system. It's increasing
in the system, and they are sleeping better at night than during the duration of the sleep, or the frequency of the sleep starts going down during the day and sleep at night. Another thing that impacts on that is the feeding. Just make sure that they are fed well before they go to bed, so that they will wake up like less frequently to feed in the night. So you feed them well. It's the same breast milk. Just make sure you feed. And a clue too is that for the breastfeeding, you have the first part that comes when you pick baby to feed is what we call foremilk, and the foremilk is thirst quenching. It has a lot of water in it, and it quenches their thirst. Then we have the hind milk, which has more of the food component and is more satisfying. So when you are breastfeeding baby, you pick the breast, you try to empty that breast before you change the breast to the other one. So when I say empty, if at the let's say that this feed, baby doesn't empty the breast, when you pick baby again, the second time, go to that breast till you feel that breast is empty.
And mothers can feel that the breast is empty.
You can.
So I don't know. I've never breastfed any baby before.
You can.
All right.
You can. So the weight of the breast, it gets engorged with breast milk, and so it feels heavier.
All right.
And mothers will be able to tell. Oh, definitely.
Only mothers can tell.
Not only mothers, even daddies.
Daddies can also go and
weigh. You can weigh.
Daddies love that. Let's have some messages right now. 055-556-1034. We're looking at newborn care in a newborn month like March, Ghana month. Tama.
You know, if you're thinking about newborns and they are a bit fussy, you can always try a lullaby, and you can just carry the baby and say, baby, careful. My lole ma bo, baby careful. My lole ma bo, baby careful. My alukota ma bo, ke odani otami.
Okay.
You see, so you can allow a baby to sleep with sweet advice. Try the Gawe. I'll teach you a few as we go along.
Nice.
Good morning today to everybody who is of Ga descent from wherever you're watching us. Good morning to iconic Ga personalities. Today I'll be dropping a few names. So, good morning to First Lady, Mrs. Rebecca Ekufuado, proper Osu woman, light skin, Good morning, Professor Zoom Zoom Azuma Nelson, iconic Ga boxing luminary. I'll be dropping a few more names. Sakakwe, authentic Ghanaian sculptures, and the names are coming. Let's ask some of the questions that you are asking. This one is to you. What should we do when a baby has hiccups? This one's a lullaby, can't help.
Hiccups, babies?
It will stop on its own.
Stop on its own.
Yes, it's more frequent in the newborn period, early infancy. But as they grow, it will stop on its own, and you don't need to really do anything extra.
Put some leaf on the of things.
No, not needed. Some will try and breastfeed a bit, but it doesn't really, it will stop on its own.
Okay.
So there's no need to.
Another question, is it right health-wise to stop breastfeeding at age 1 year, 3 months? The hashtag we love to see. Tony is asking from Jirapa. So the daddies these days.
Yeah, they are active
they are very
daddies.
involved.
Yes.
When do we stop breastfeeding?
The recommendation for exclusive breastfeeding is 6 months.
Okay.
Breastfeed alone for 6 months. Now, after 6 months, you start introducing the family foods or the weaning foods to baby's diet. So everything that is eating in the family, baby can take. Just make sure that it's not peppery and it's not salty, and in a form that baby can take. Now, WHO or World Health Organization recommends breastfeeding up to 2 years of age. It could go a little longer than that, but you breastfeed together with the family foods that you are giving to baby after 6 months till about 2 years. If you stop at 1 year, 3 months, it's not a crime, but the WHO recommendation is 2 years.
I'm tempted to think that there's another reason Tony wants Madam to stop breastfeeding. Please, let baby finish drinking the milk, okay? Sterling is saying something. He said, thank you so much for the education. You know why? My beloved wife and I are expecting a pretty baby soon. Congratulations to you. That makes me very excited. And we've read the one on hiccups. This is another question. Good morning. Is it normal for 3 months baby to take 3 days before pooping? Like, I can feel my baby feeling uncomfortable when he has to poop. Na from Choco, na imbio sania inhabu.
This is a common one. Now, from about 6 weeks of age, the tummy of the baby is growing, the gut is maturing, and they are able to absorb a lot of the breast milk that is giving. And so there's little that will come out as poop. You may see up to about a week. Within that period, they may not poop. But once the tummy is not big or like distended, baby is now vomiting, baby is still tolerating the breast milk that you are giving, no worries. And baby is also able to like pass flatus. You are not worried at all about that.
Okay.
Okay, Trisha is saying, good morning. This is one of the embarrassing moments in my life. When I had my first child, I was very young and naive. My baby cried for a long time. I had breastfed her several times. I got very scared because I had no clue. I had to call the nurse who asked me if I changed her diaper nappy. I hadn't changed her almost the whole day. So don't get too carried away that you forget to change the baby. I'm going to go through as many of these. Pouring lukewarm water in the anus of babies during bathing. Could you please explain the rationale behind that? All of us passed through that process.
Okay.
There are certain things our mothers passed on to us that we should do to babies that health workers recommend against. So perhaps you can address some of those.
All right. One, for the babies, the female babies who are born, some of them may have vaginal discharge, which is like milky or whitish. That is perfectly normal, and you don't need to do anything about it. You just wash it as you bath them. Now, for pouring lukewarm water in the anus, we do not recommend that. You just leave baby. Baby will eat, poop, do whatever they need to do. You don't need to do anything extra about that. You don't need to give them an enema. Like I've explained the pooping schedule, how it changes. So in the first few days, it may go on after every feed.
Right.
You may poop, baby may poop after every feed. After a while, from about the 4-6 weeks, it changes to the almost no poop for about a week. So you don't need to do anything. And we've had circumstances where parents have given enemas with herbs and other things and caused problems for the babies.
Okay. So don't do it. Everything will resolve in good time. I wish I could stay here and talk more about newborns. I can even smell the Johnson & Johnson powder and everything. But we've got to go right now. Dr. Hilda Mantibea Boy is CEO of JH Health Connect and the Vice President of the Pediatric Society of Ghana. Thank you so much for the newborn education.
Thank you for having us.
Happy new month. And I'll leave you with what she said. Keep your eye on baby. Never turn your back on baby. We won't turn your back on you in terms of sports because Maltiti, the princess of the royal kingdom, the lion kingdom, is here to give us the sports. You stay. Don't go anywhere.
That's about welcome to GTV Breakfast Sports. I am Multi-Decider Sadiq. Heritage Month, we are welcoming you into the Heritage Month of GTV Breakfast and the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation as a whole. Desiba and Dan Yana Gbonle Yana Abukari the second. Desiba to Yona Abdullahi and Dani, and Desiba to Yana Abdullahi Mahamadu. Dasiba again to the Bimbala na Nyalembolguna Mahami Sheriga, and the Bimbala overlord to Nyalembolguna Yakubu and Dani. Dasiba Ibi Mpurian. Well, let's start off with Olympics now. The Great Olympics beat the Real Tamale United, the Lions of the Real Tamale United 2-1 at the Accra Sports Stadium yesterday to move second on the league table. Barely 5 minutes into the game, Georgia Samoa scored early to put Olympics in an early lead. Now RTU equalized via penalty converted by Ronald Frimpong in the 50th minute before Ibrahim Sule scored the winner in the dying embers of the game.
Here is George Asamoah. Free kick taken straight to the, and that's the opening goal for Great Olympics. Great Olympics have opened the deadlock.
Yeah, the ball takes a bounce, but really no excuse because he's under no pressure here. Should be getting hold of the ball, but drops it. George Asamoah is on hand off the post and back onto him, but redirected into the back of the net. An early lead.
Straight to Stephen Kwaku. Half time. Referee looks on as he's impeded. No foul. Here's Victor Edu. Does he get an equalizer? Great save from Stephen Kwaku. That was a power drive from Edu.
Just looking at that pass and look at that pass through the channel there. Victor Edu onto his right foot there. Just right down the laces, and goalkeeper is making a very good catch.
RTU looking dangerous. It's a penalty for Great Real Tamale United. For RTU, he steps forward and he makes it 1-1. Cool and calm. Great finish. It's Olympics 1. RTU 1. His third goal of the season in 15 games.
And the coolest man on the pitch was him, slotting the pass. The goalkeeper in an area where he couldn't even dream of diving to when it's area.
RTU desperately defending Philip Saki. That's Olympics get a winner, and yes, they have it.
Now, a referee officiating a Division 1 league game between New Edubiase and the Bekwai Youth Academy had to run for his life after disallowing a goal in a keenly contested Zone 2 fixture. New Edubiase United were awarded a corner kick. The visitors scored straight from the quadrant, but the linesman raised his flag to disallow the goal. The decision angered the fans, causing them to invade the pitch and chase the referee for ruling out the goal. Now, the Women's FA Cup round of 32 was in a flow of goals across the centres as 14 games were honoured in the first round. And out of that, as the three heaviest goal-scoring results were Ashtown Ladies beat Nana Efiakobi Ladies by 14-0. For Sioux Royal Ladies and Kwong Ladies was a 12-0. Hazakas Ladies and Hasport Ladies was a 7-0 against Hasport Ladies. Also, the Berry Ladies takes on the Police Ladies today in the fixtures. Moving on, let's take a look now at what is happening in the other sports areas. That is the Super Eagles set to open camp on 21st March in Abuja ahead of the decisive 2022 World Cup playoffs against Ghana. Now, the first leg, originally scheduled for March 24 in Cape Coast, will now take place on March 25th, with the second leg taking place at the Moshood Abiola National Stadium in Abuja 4 days later. FIFA sets March 21 to 29 as the international break period, which allows clubs in Europe and elsewhere to release their foreign players to play for their national teams. UEFA says a decision will be made at a later date about the impact on the Women's Euro 2022 tournament in England in July, which Russia has qualified for.
Coming live from the capital, this is the Breakfast Show.
Good morning, my neighbor.
Good morning.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
It's
a good morning, and we serve you breakfast. Not just any breakfast. Sizzling helping.
Yeah, all the time. Okay, let's take a peek. I brought my spine.
There are certain things that we do to help the children with their brushing.
And there's much more on offer on GTV Breakfast.
You want it served buffet style?
On-site restaurant.
Complimentary breakfast?
Off of your plate should be vegetables.
So in my lifetime, I haven't seen Ghana Black Stars win an African Cup.
Can I show what this restaurant is about?
Yes, definitely.
Where's the camera?
Just stand and turn. So what's your pleasure than Votras, yeah? At that time of the morning. So never skip breakfast.
On GTV Breakfast.
From Monday to Friday at 6 a.m. We've got you covered with a trusted team.
Live from GBC Studio 1, this is the Breakfast Show.
Good morning. It's a good morning, and we serve you breakfast. Not just any breakfast. Sizzling helping. And there's much more on offer on GTV Breakfast. So what's your pleasure than Votras, yeah? At that time of the morning.
You want it served buffet style? Complimentary breakfast?
On-site restaurant.
Or room service.
We've got you covered. From Monday to Friday at 6 a.m. With a trusted team. So never skip breakfast.
On GTV Breakfast.
Coming live from the capital, this is the Breakfast Show.
Morning, my neighbor.
Good morning.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning.
It's a good morning, and we serve you breakfast. Not just any breakfast. Sizzling helping.
Yeah, all the time. Okay, let's take a peek. I brought my spine.
There are certain things that we do to help the children with their brushing.
And there's much more on offer on GTV Breakfast.
You want it served buffet style?
On-site restaurant.
Complimentary breakfast?
Off of your plate should be vegetables.
So in my lifetime, I haven't seen Ghana Black Stars win an African Cup.
Can I show what this restaurant is about?
Yes, definitely.
Where's the camera?
Just stand and turn. So what's your pleasure than Votras, yeah? At that time of the morning. So never Skip breakfast.
On GTV Breakfast.
From Monday to Friday at 6 a.m.
We've got you covered with a trusted team.
On and welcome to Ghana Month on GTV. Of course, we are representing Ghana the whole of this month right here on this platform, and we are going over to monitor traffic situations at the UPSA junction in Legon. So don't say Legon, it's Legon. Knowledge, lay. Knowing, lay. And then gong is hill. So Legon. Come with us as we study Accra, and I bring you some of the many things that make us unique as a people. Jay Gabra is standing by at the Hill of Knowledge. Jay.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you, Delma. Like rightly said, it's the Ghana Month. We're representing Ghana heavily on the
Nearly, yeah. Nearly. You see.
So, driving through the capital in order to bring you these updates, we were hanging around Shiashi area, and then we noticed that commuters directed our attention to the side because the traffic lights here aren't working. So you notice that for those who are coming from Medina heading towards Legon, what you see is there will be a flash of amber, and then people will think the red light is coming on, then they stop, and unfortunately they don't know the lights aren't working. Somebody can back into them. So if they are not careful, there may be an accident. So what happens is commuters are just going through the traffic light. And then you also notice for those who are trying to enter the IPS road, and for those who are coming from that side, it creates a hell of a time for them when they have to go towards that side, because depending on traffic coming from those from Legon, if they have to turn towards that direction, it creates a hard time for them. So just appeal to the MTTD to come here this morning and help with the traffic situation at the moment. We don't want any incidents to occur. And in monitoring the traffic situation here as well, and when we got here earlier, we noticed a few students who were going to campus and all that, which is a good sign that the lecturers are returning to campus to teach. There are also fears that what exactly will the teachers be teaching them, because they've given themselves ultimatums of up to Friday to see if they'll still go on the strike or they'll stop. So for now, in monitoring the scenes here, for the traffic situation, a lot of traffic is backed up at Presec. That's for if you go head into that general direction. So for those coming from Medina, you have a hell of a time. So please, if you haven't left home yet or you want to avoid traffic, Google Maps is your friend, and it will help you. It will help you all the diversionary routes, all the alternative routes you need. So if you're coming from that direction, you face some bit of traffic there. So like I mentioned earlier, if you're main Shashi itself, going towards Pana and all, you will face traffic in that direction as well. For now, this is the traffic situation here at the UPSA junction. Back to you, Thelma, in the studio.
Thank you, Jay, bringing us live traffic updates from the UPSA junction at Legon. So, Ni Legon. We are brushing up on our gun this morning, and whenever people are coming for me, don't worry, I'll do a bit of the central region for you, just especially for you as well. After the break, we'll be looking into the newspapers. Woke adafitra wojia misani bahanye ni inyemi togbe kafuide ke nyemi me batashina mekwe wojiami. We'll be back after the break with the headlines.
Live from GBC Studio 1, this is the Breakfast Show.
And they call me UJ. When you need a shoulder to cry, run on my pampas, so we try to suicide. Yeah, let bygone be bygone. I didn't see what the button gonna do, we go straight to stardom. And I gonna take you to next level. My baby, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Energy next level. Back baby, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I'll take you to next level. My baby, oh yeah.
I don't go next level.
Excessive drinking can be detrimental to health. Not recommended for persons under 18 years, lactating mothers, pregnant women, and people sensitive to caffeine. This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
I am 7 years old. Beep, beep, beep.
I am 4 years old.
We are 12 years old.
It's been 1 year since I started my antiretroviral treatment.
You can live a long, productive life with antiretroviral treatment. With antiretroviral treatment, HIV-positive expectant mothers can have healthy HIV-negative babies. Go to the nearest health center, test and know your HIV status. If you are positive, ask about antiretroviral treatment and you will receive help. Antiretroviral treatment is your only option for a long and fulfilling life.
This advert is brought to you by the Ghana AIDS Commission.
All SIM cards in Ghana must be registered again with only the Ghana card. Yes, only the Ghana card.
You will not be able to make voice calls, use mobile money services, internet, and all other services linked to your SIM card if you don't.
To register, dial *404# and follow the prompts. You will be required to send the following details on your Ghana card: Ghana card number, surname, first name, date of birth, and sex.
You will then receive a special code which you will present to your nearest service provider agent or customer care center for your biometric details to be captured. Remember to add your digital address.
Dial *404# on your phone to start registering your SIM card today.
For more information, contact your service provider on 100 or the National Communications Authority on toll-free number 0800 110622. Register your SIM card to stay connected.
Over there. And man, sit then cry. Tabia takum, wedi a mema yedro no, a me nya hoden, ane hoden ye, aye mema dro, anu ti na berma bia hia bi no, aye mema dro ma berma bia wedi mfie di wotwe ko. Bia pedi du etu aton bia, enko chemical shops, pharmaceuticals, ane herbal shops bia. E wo Ghana hanum be bia. Anase fraying, e wo 0243 686861, ana 0245 749206.
FDA ajisa ejodi nkatu yatu.
Kaise tabia takum ye, bema bia ye takum.
Coming live from the capital, this is the Breakfast Show.